Sam Heughan and the Journey to Macbeth, when an Outlander hero faces his own darkness. Stratford-upon-Avon, 2025. In the dim rehearsal room of the Royal Shakespeare Company, Sam Heughan steps into a circle of light. Gone is Jamie Fraser's fiery Highland mane, gone the sweeping romance of Outlander. In its place stands a haunted Macbeth, a man fractured by ambition, cloaked in guilt. It's a beautiful kind of darkness, Heughan calls it quietly, one I have to face. The RSC's new Macbeth is a daring experiment. Director Jonathan Keane reimagines Shakespeare's tragedy in late 20th century Scotland, an era when politics, the military, and media collided in shadowy intrigue. Instead of castles and swords, the audience will see neon signs flickering above rain-soaked streets, whiskey glasses clinking in smoky bars. We wanted to show Macbeth not as a medieval warlord but as a modern man, a politician losing his soul to power, Keane explains. It's terrifying because it feels so familiar. For over 3 months, Heughan and actress Lia Williams, Lady Macbeth, rehearsed behind closed doors at the Other Place Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon. The process was unlike anything Heughan had done before. The director dissolved the boundary between actor and audience, turning the stage into a living experiment in emotion. The immersive format brings the crowd just feet away, close enough to see the sweat, to feel the breath, to witness the madness rising in real time. The atmosphere in the rehearsal room is described as tense, reverent, almost ritualistic. Used to the rhythm of television, Heughan had to unlearn comfort and live entirely in the moment. Every gesture, every pause was studied, the way Macbeth grips a wine glass, the flicker in his eyes at the witch's prophecy, the tremor in his voice as ambition takes hold. There were days he'd rehearse a single look for an hour, a crew member recalls. He wasn't perfecting it, he was feeling it. Williams says their connection was built not only through dialogue but through silence. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth aren't just partners in crime, she says. They're two halves of one tortured soul. Sam has this fierce energy, but underneath, there's such fragility. That's what makes his Macbeth so devastating. Behind the scenes, Heughan's reputation for intensity held true. He doesn't leave the stage until he's found the heartbeat of the character, one stagehand notes. For Heughan, Macbeth is more than a performance, it's an act of surrender. He's ambitious, ruthless, but heartbreakingly human, Sam says. I want the audience to hate him and love him, the way we love ourselves even when we fall. The transformation from heroic Jamie Fraser to fractured Macbeth isn't just artistic, it's psychological. Macbeth isn't pure evil, Heughan explains in a behind-the-scenes interview. He starts with ideals, with honor. Then one whisper, one prophecy, one weakness, and everything unravels. To prepare, he devoured books on ambition and moral decay. He describes Macbeth's fall as a spiral, each act of cruelty born not from bloodlust, but fear. He doesn't kill because he wants more. He kills because he's terrified of losing what he's gained. And that, he adds quietly, I understand. During rehearsals, the director often asked him not to speak but to listen, to the voice in his own head. In one exercise, Heughan stood motionless in the dark for minutes, breathing until paranoia surfaced. Macbeth is a man haunted by his own echo, the director said. Sam captured that with frightening truth. Those who witnessed the rehearsals said they could feel the war between reason and obsession in every movement. He doesn't play a mad king, said one observer. He plays a man clinging desperately to what's left of his humanity. The chemistry between Heughan and Williams burns quietly. Their scenes together pulse with danger and longing, a love story poisoned by ambition. In one rehearsal, when Lady Macbeth urges her husband toward murder, Heughan's trembling fury filled the room. It was like watching sin being born, said one crew member. For Heughan, Macbeth mirrors the modern world, a society addicted to fame, validation, and power. Macbeth today could be anyone, he says. A politician, a CEO, an influencer, anyone willing to trade their soul for attention. That's why Keane fused Scotland's rugged imagery with dark electronic music, fluorescent lighting, and sharp, physical staging, to remind us that this isn't ancient history. It's now. When rehearsals finally ended, Heughan stood alone on stage as the lights dimmed. He said nothing for several minutes. Then he smiled faintly and whispered, "Sometimes to understand darkness, you have to walk straight into it." That night, as the final light faded, Heughan stood motionless, no longer the hero Jamie Fraser, nor the tyrant Macbeth. Just a man stripped bare. "I don't want to shake Macbeth off too quickly," he said later. "He reminds me that we all carry shadows inside us. The question is, do we dare to face them?" At 45, with fame, fortune, and global adoration behind him, Sam Heughan has chosen not to chase another blockbuster, but to return to the stage, to the raw truth of theater, where there's no camera, no retake, no mask. "This isn't a step back," he says. "It's a return to where art began." A critic for The Times later wrote, "In Macbeth, Sam Heughan doesn't seek to dazzle. He seeks to confront, with the naked honesty of fear and faith." On stage, every silence, every breath, every glance seemed to ask one haunting question: when we've gained everything, who are we then? That question lingers not only for Macbeth, but for the artist, the audience, and the world beyond the theater, a world forever balancing light and darkness. When the final performance ended, Heughan didn't leave immediately. He bowed his head, not as a victor, but as a man reborn, one who had entered the shadows and emerged still human. From the windswept hills of the Highlands to the quiet stage of the RSC, Sam Heughan has traveled from hero to human, and in that descent, perhaps found something even greater. "Macbeth changed me," he whispered in a final interview. "Not because of who he is, but because he taught me that to be truly seen, you must dare to face the things no one wants to look at."